Hello everybody, welcome back. We are playing Stonehearth today because I've missed playing this game on my channel. So Stonehearth is, if you've never seen Stonehearth before, stick around. I really do think that everyone who watches any of my videos will enjoy this. So just give it a try, see what you think. I'm not telling you to watch the whole video, but just get a feel for things, you know? This is the story of a brave band of settlers from the Ascendancy who are pretty much the starting township of people that you can go for. A prosperous and industrious kingdom seeking new lands and adventure they set off to. I'm gonna go with their favoured biome, which is temperate. Darkmoor Forest, a location which is sure to be normal. An inspiring place to start on it. See, they make it sound better when you pick your options, you know? Let's see what we've got here. We've got a good mix of people. Passionate trapper, that's useful to have. Someone who's quite quick at learning. Animal companion. Bit of a hothead, which is a pain. But, no, you know what? I'm happy with all of those. To be honest, I don't normally mess around with the citizens. I like to leave them as random as possible. So let's accept that roster. And I think since we do have such a passionate trapper amongst our starting folks, I think I'm going to start with a merchant caravan here. You get a trapper's knife, a footman's sword, a herbalist staff, some berries, and some gold. You could go for the farmer one, but since you always start with a carpenter's saw, it's not very long before you are able to make one of those for yourself. So I'm just gonna go with this and we'll give it a start, see how it goes. And here's our map. Now this tells me there might be some fun to be had in terms of like doing a tunnel city, but I think instead I'm gonna go around here. I think I like that place there, and I'll tell you why when we get into it. So, for those of you that don't know, Stonehearth is like a little civilization builder. It's a very, like, micro as opposed to a macro, you know, sort of moment. You've got a really small population that you just kind of build up. And I like it. It's a very fun game. I played it on the other channel that I had for a while, and it was one of the games that, well, not only did it do really well, but I like played a lot of on there. I think I like this spot in here, like this in between of here bit. I think that's my favorite. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna gather some resources because it's gonna be super important for us to just get that going. So as you might know from me playing all games, I am very impatient. So most of the time things go on fast speed. And I just pause if I need to pause. So next on the docket, we've got to have somewhere to store all this sort of stuff. So we're going to designate ourselves a stockpile here. And I'm going to put it as close to our hearth as possible, and I'm just going to make it maximum size, fill it up, and then we will have all of the stuff that we have just collected, and it will all end up going on here. But while they're doing that, we have received a message from a strange bird! Exclamation mark. An odd bird arrives with a letter in its beak, stamped with the official seal of the Ascendancy. The bird also carries a name tag which reads Harold. Hi, Harold. Let's open the letter. Dear Expedition 141, I hope this letter finds you well. By my guess I can't read today. By my guess you've likely set up camp by now. As your capital liaison, it is my honour to preside remotely over the official founding of your outpost. I trust that you have had ample time to choose a name for your journey. As you know, every new settlement must choose a banner. This banner reflects your spirit and vision, the uniting factor which brings the expedition together. I can read, I promise, guys. What future did you foresee when you embarked on your quest for township? Hold in your mind a vision of what your town will one day be. Your banner will set that course, but it is up to you to finish it. Choose well, my friends. I eagerly await your reply. Yours, Mayor Burlyhands. What shall we choose? Let's see. So I could randomize a name. I ain't doing that. We're going to go Megglesfield. Because why not? So we've got a couple of options here. I'm actually going to slow down the game in order to do this, because if we leave it too late, they're going to get mad because they ain't got beds and all that sort of fun stuff. So we'll start with reading out the Banner of Vitality. This settlement shall be at one with the environment. Trees produce 25% more wood. Plants and crops both grow 25% faster, and plants will have 2 times their normal appeal. Banner of Strength. This settlement will grow strong with the earth and steel. Mining gives you 50% more ore, stone and clay. Halflings no longer mind cramped spaces. That's more of a tunneling, like mining town one. And then the Cunning. This settlement will be a bustling hub of trade. Roads give 3 times their normal speed boost. Your items sell for 50% more. Traders will bring 2 times the goods in gold. I think we're going to have kind of a very simple, like, farmery kind of vibe with this one. So I think that's what we'll do. And I put a 1 on the end of Megasphere when I was trying to pause the game. So let's change that. Outpost established, Megalsfield. We got it. Right. So now that we've done that, I think it's time for us to start thinking about our town and our jobs. Where's our passionate trapper? That's Shell or Insect. Right, so you, my friend, are going to be the trapper, which will be great. Let's see. I think I'm going to go for Sean to be our carpenter. And where's our hothead? Hot-headed guy? I think that might have been Cecil, yeah. So Cecil's going to be our footman. Probably not the best choice for footman, to be quite honest, because he did have kind of low heart stats. So this is the mind. It's good for things like crafting. Body is really good for things like fighting. And then the spirit is really good for like herbalism and cleric kind of arcane stuff. So that's the gist there. Let's see if we can clear up a bit more of this space, because I'm going to do something a little bit differently to anything I've ever done in my Let's Plays before. I'm going to do a lot more terraforming. Most of the time when I play, I kind of leave the terrain as it is, apart from whatever's in my way. This time I'm going to be using the terrain a bit more. I want to bring these two together and make sort of like a river that runs in between. Make it a bit more aesthetic, which, as I say, isn't normally my vibe, but I played a game like that quite recently, and I had a lot of fun. I found it a lot more fulfilling getting it all looking nice like that, as opposed to just my standard, I'm just going to play Stonehearth. But, I mean, to be fair, I love Stonehearth anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, regardless. So, now that these guys have taken up their tools for their professions, we're going to have to create a workbench for the carpenter. This is the carpenter's crafting menu. More stuff becomes unlocked over time, so at the moment these grayed out ones, these are ones we can't actually access because we're not a high enough level. That will come with time, as I say, including the farmer's hoe, which will be a really good one for us. So that you'll get used to those sort of menus a bit later on. The bird squawks, Harold's back. Not sure how you missed it before, but the bird was carrying a tiny backpack. It contains a note which reads, "A little something to help you celebrate," along with 2 present bread, 5 roast sausage. Very lovely, the bird departs. The odd messenger bird scurries off with your official settlement founding declaration in its beak, carrying in the vague direction of the capital. Well, check it out. Now, I'm getting rid of a lot of trees right now. That's kind of the main thing I'm doing, but I'm gonna start getting my carpenter working on something a bit more interesting. So I'm just gonna put his workbench down here. We'll get him a real place soon, I promise you guys. But our crafter is going to start off. We've got 5 people now, so we're gonna craft 5 beds. Lovely. 5 simple wooden chairs and 5 little tables. Now, these are going to be important because it makes people happy when they have a bed to sleep on, funnily enough, and they like to be able to sit on a chair while they eat, which, I mean, is a fair enough thing to want to do. So I'm going to give them that. And it looks like we've got our daily update. Now, this is the requirements needed for you to gain a new halfling to join your settlement. Food is normally the easier one early on. Net worth is a little bit trickier. You've got to build some buildings, you've got to trade. Basically, the value of your entire settlement is what's important there. But food is pretty self-explanatory, so. But our road remains empty today because we've done hardly anything besides chop down a ton of trees. But soon enough, we will definitely get some new halflings going. Some fantastic news from our carpenter. He can now craft a farmer's hoe, so we're going to get that going, and we will create some farmland very shortly. I think the amount of wood I've just chopped down, I might need to get more than one stockpile, and in doing so, I just was reminded of the fact that I need to set up a trapper's field. So this is the trapping ground for our trappers. We're already out of town items. Oh my god, that's bad. So town items are it's basically the cap on your inventory. It expands with the amount of halflings you have, so it's not this minimal at all times. But as I say, we've only got 5 halflings right now, so we can't really do much about it. But regardless, I think step number 1 is to create some lovely farmland here. So I'm going to start with mining. We're going to mine out some space here. I'm going to get a good angle, see where I want to go. So basically I want to connect up these two with a river. So I'm going to do like a wide opening for the river, and then we're going to go probably about 7 wide for the majority of it, and we'll have it bend a little bit like so. This is just the first layer, so we won't get any water in with this. But it was just kind of a guide for the shape. You don't actually need water nearby your farmland to have it working, so that's not actually a bother. But I am just already thinking about it because I'm trying to be thinking ahead, basically, is the gist. But now that I've got like a guide for where our river's going to be, I'm happy to like start building in a bit more of like the surrounding area. Daily update, we're not going to have the net worth again, as I say. It's not too hard to get your net worth up to 275. All that really takes is 1 building, so I think we will get that done in the next episode or 2. But right now they are working on that lovely area. What am I trying to say? Also, I noticed when I was trying to terraform in my last game, I like having like a little bit of this kind of knocked out. Not everywhere, but it's kind of nice to give it less of a flat edge on these water places. So I'm going to give that a try. And then we will start building a little house in the corner here. I'm going to put it like here-ish, overlooking the water, I think. The only annoying thing about this is that the fact that they haven't done the mining yet, so it's a little bit annoying in that regard. They're nearly done though, so they will probably be over shortly to get that done. Let's see. Right, so I definitely think that here-ish is going to be where the first house is going to be, and I might do a little garden area over here, possibly. Oh, we've got some invaders approaching. That's its own thing. Where's Cecil? Over here. He's fighting off some little tree sprites. He's not actually doing too bad, which is fantastic. Yeah, basically, every so often you'll get foes. They'll come and fight you. Sometimes they have a bit more of a story to them, like you'll have to fight off slightly bigger hordes and stuff. But for now, they're pretty simple. As for our building that we wanted to do, I think I want to go with like a kind of quite a pale colour for the walls. I'm going to actually go with a bit of a darker colour for the columns. And maybe a darker for the... Let's try that. So, if I do this. A little 10 by 10 house. That looks cute. So, yeah, this is basically the building function. You can just place standard blocks, walls, you can split some walls, you can make holes in the wall, but you can also add things like your windows and your doors. So I kind of like the idea of my door being on this side. Also, I'm going to note that the floor is up one from the ground, so just remember to do your door that way. And I tend to just put a little step here. And I kind of turn it into a little porch. You don't have to do this at all. Just make sure there's a little step. There we go. So there's like a little porch on it now. I'm thinking I'm going to bring the road, which I think I'm going to do in... I kind of like it in that, in the sort of reddish tone, actually. I think I'm going to bring that along here. Like so. It's not going to do much for now, but that's the start. And then as for a roof, I'm going to do it with this robin. And do we want it this way round or do we want it that way round? You know, I think I want it the other way round. So we can choose to have like a gabled roof, or we can have like a... If we take these off, the tick marks don't work, so just note that for the time being. But there's the option. You can even lower the amount of... Oh, nope, that's the stories, my bad. You used to be able to lower the amount of pitches, I suppose, by blocks of how far up this roof goes. But it doesn't really matter for this. I'm quite happy with that. And we can just stick a cute little decorative window up the top there. As for the windows on the sides and stuff, I want to give them a lot of view since they are overlooking the water. So I'm going to do a 3 there. I'm going to leave that one blank for now. I think I've got an idea of what I want to do there. And I'm going to do 3 along here, although that might bite me in the bum if I put another house there. So that's a bit of a pain. As for this back piece, I wanted to see if I can do a different design on there. Like a little... like a wall or something. Or I could paint it. I could paint it a different colour. Which is really cool. Oh, it's like that. Okay. I've never actually done this bit, so that's cool. But I like the idea of maybe having like a different coloured back, and I'll do that to there. And then I will... Honestly, I think I'm just going to carry on painting up to the top because I think I screwed it up. You can paint... Can you paint the roof? Can you paint the roof? Is that a thing that you can do? You can paint bits of the roof as well, so that's cool. That's useful to know, actually, because they've only got a few set patterns. But instead of the big windows there, I think I'm going to do 2 of these instead. And I think, all in all, that might be us done. I'm also going to change the colour of these column blocks because it just kind of matches the column a little bit better. But this is our first house. I'm going to furnish it later on. I tend to do that after the build rather than putting it in now because then they recraft stuff that they've already crafted. But for now, that's fine. And I'm very happy with that. And that should get rid of some of the wood for a start. And it will up our net worth as well, which means that we can get a new halfling, hopefully. Well, that's the plan. Anyway, but in the meantime, while they're building that, I will carry on kind of shaping this river out, I think. And to do so, I think I'm gonna do it like this. And I want to make sure that it looks slightly different on each side, make them uneven, because that's super important. And I think I'm gonna do the same with some of these, just make them a little bit more uneven, not like they've been put in like a box. Make it look a bit more like it's got a bit of a curve to it, if that makes sense, but in the form of squares, obviously. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. One thing I do really love about the buildings in this game is that they have little scaffolding that's super cute. when they're building the houses. It's all done in scaffold, which is super cute. Have we got it? Yes, we've made it. We did it. Like, look how much net worth we gained from just that one building. So that's fantastic. We are going to accept a new settler, Beth Fenton. What is Beth's stats looking like? Beth is 1 in mind, 4 in body, 1 in spirit. So a little bit lacking on the crafting and the arcane, but they will be absolutely fine. And they are empathetic, and they will eat anything, which is helpful. I'm not going to give them a job straight away. I think for now they're going to be more than happy being a worker. We're nearly done with this this here home as well, so we can get at least one person into a bed and into a home, which is very exciting. In the meantime, I will totally get another bed crafted, as well as another table and a chair, and I believe I saw a trading proposition here. Hello Macclesfield, I'm just passing through and I thought I'd be willing to make a trade with you. If you can make me 6 mean beds, I'll be back in 2 days and might be able to get you 3 comfy beds. You know what, I'm going to take that. I will take that, and we will craft another 3 of these just to balance that out. And that way we'll still have enough to have full 6 roster of beds, regardless of how many we trade away. Let's see. This is almost coming together. We're just waiting on the placement of the windows, and the door is in. Yeah, the door is in. So after the windows come in, you will see this guy gets the specialist opening treatment, I suppose would be the right way to say it. And it turns out really well. I'm not actually too keen on that porch, unfortunately. It's not my best work, but for a first building, it's not terrible. And I'm not too mad at it. But there we go. There's our first house. Now, if we would like to, we can place in... That's not the button. I'm so used to playing Banished, where R is rotate. We rotate using the dot and the comma, which is, in real person talk, the little arrow keys. And then here we will put a table and a chair. And that's their little lodging. Now, I will assign a bed so that we make sure that we have enough for everybody, and I think it's most important that we keep our footmen nice and well rested. But I think I might leave it there for today. Yeah, we've got a lot going on, and I'd say that finishing a house is a really good stopping point. If we could just get rid of this, I could take a picture for the screenshot, but you know. Oh well, doesn't matter. Have we got enough for another one? We totally do! We're gonna have 7 people! Micah Brightwell. Hello, Micah Brightwell. Now you would make a very good cleric. Because you are very spirited. But you're quite stoic, which is a bit of a shame. And it's not the biggest deal in the world, though. All things considered, I'd say we're doing all right. We still have way too many town items, which is quite funny, to be honest. But yes, that's it for us, and I will leave it here today. So thank you all ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.